We're making Sopapilla Cheesecake today. Welcome to Help at Home, your resource for great recipes and easy learning. I'm Jim Hightower. Today I'm easing you into cheesecake making by introducing you to a delicious party dish that's also a great dessert. We're making Sopapilla Cheesecake today, and it was introduced to me almost 10 years ago by a great friend called Shirley Treadaway. So grab your pen and paper. Here come the ingredients. You will need 3 8-ounce packages of cream cheese, 1 cup sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla, and 2 cans of crescent roll dough. That will get your top and your bottom crust and your filling. For your topping, you'll need an additional ½ cup sugar, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, and then 1 stick of melted butter. It's super simple. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. The next thing that we need to do is to prepare the pan so that what you put in will come out. We're not going to put any flour in it this time, just butter. And you've seen this before. I am going to put a little bit on the sides too. And that is it. I've got my 3 packages of cream cheese in the mixing bowl of Big Red here. And remember, if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you need to let that cream cheese set out and get to room temperature 1 to 2 hours. It won't hurt it. Because otherwise, you'll get all these hard little bits and you just can't get rid of them. And that's gross. So, let's talk about vanilla. Normally, I use my clear Dancy's Mexican vanilla because I love that flavor. Has a little bit of cinnamon, I think. But I was recently given something that's absolutely wonderful and homemade, and you know how I feel about homemade. I have some Rick's Homemade Vanilla. So here is what I'm going to use today. 1 teaspoon of this. I'm going to mix it in just a minute. Homemade vanilla. I think we'll make some homemade extracts one of these days. It's super easy, so why not? Let's mix this up and loosen up our cream cheese for just a few seconds. Alright, then we'll start putting our sugar in. We'll let that go. And 1 teaspoon of that fantastic Rick's Homemade Vanilla. I think I want to shake it up. There we go. Oh, that's just yummy. 1 teaspoon. We'll mix that in. Beautiful. You want it light and fluffy. Just cleaning off the edges of my little paddle attachment here. The one that scrapes the sides for me. Thank you, Oklahoma Drummer. And also, in case I didn't say thank you to Rick Halber, thank you, Rick Halber, for that delicious vanilla. Next, we need to get our pan ready, and we've got our 2 cans of crescent rolls, but we only need 1 to start with, and I found that it's much easier to work with if you keep it chilled. So, into my snack drawer that first one goes. Now, if you've been with me for any amount of time, you know I've made casseroles in the past with the crescent roll dough sheets. These are crescent rolls. You don't have to use crescent rolls. In fact, I prefer the dough sheets. But when Lori went out to get me some, all they had were crescent rolls. So we will make it like we did with the original recipe. Because when it came out, they didn't have dough sheets. So, you roll this out on your impeccably clean counter and lay it into the bottom of your pan and do your best to stretch it out without tearing things apart. And life will happen. You've got this extra little bit down here, this little roll. Who cares? Just push it down. But stretch this across. Try to get it across there, but also try to keep all your seams together as best you can. If you can't, you know, who cares? Because somebody's going to eat it, and it might be me. Alright, now we're ready for our filling. And just give that a quick stir. Put it right on top. Oh, I know this is yummy. And by the way, for my favorite diabetics, instead of 1 cup of sugar, you can use half a cup of that Splenda sugar blend. And there you go. Now, spread this out. Honestly, I think this might be a little easier with a handy wooden spatula. There's no big deal about putting this together. You just want to make it as evenly across as possible because you don't want to have any, you know, ridges or anything. There you go. That's about as good as it gets. And it doesn't matter. Now, let's taste that. Ooh, that's good. Next, we need our top. Roll that out. Once again, on your impeccably clean top. Then, I think I'm going to lay this down so that roll goes down. And smooth it out as before. Now, this is going to be one of those things that you can't really stretch it on top of this very much. Like, see, my edge over here isn't perfect. And all I can do is just mash it together, and it's going to be fine. You just wait and see. It's no big deal. Next, we need our melted butter, our sugar, and cinnamon. Here we go. We're going to pour our melted butter all over the top of this. That's just super yummo. And you're thinking, Jim, all you do is butter. Actually, that was the recipe. And with this cinnamon and sugar, use a fork to mix it. It'll just go straight through like a slotted spoon. Then, shake it on there. Sometimes I find I have more control using my hands. Mix that cinnamon up a little bit. But it's whatever you like. And we'll get that there. Against my better judgment, is kind of spread that evenly just a little bit so that as it cooks that the butter will come through and it won't be any hard bits. So into your 350 degree oven for 30 minutes. You're ready. Here it is, just out of the oven. Still hot. It looks like a beautiful family-sized piece of cinnamon toast. If you've never made homemade cinnamon toast, you've got a real treat coming. Now, you want to let this cool for at least an hour and probably longer. That whole bit about putting hot things into the refrigerator, and because this is a cheesecake of sorts, you do want it chilled. So after it cools to room temperature, a couple of hours, I would put it in the refrigerator and chill it uncovered for several hours, and then you can either serve it or then cover it up. It's just yummy. You've got the crust on the bottom. Everybody loves a good crust. You got the crust on the top with the cinnamon, the sugar, the butter. Who doesn't love butter? And if you don't, how sad for you, but the rest of us will enjoy it. Mwah. If you like this recipe for delicious Sopapilla cheesecake, your easy entry into the world of cheesecake recipes, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and share with your friends who like to cook or just want to learn how. Drop me a line in the comments below about your experiences with this recipe and what else you'd like to see in the kitchen. Click the bell in the top right hand corner for notifications. I'm Jim Hightower, and remember, everyone needs help, even me. Welcome to Help at the Home. Blech. Flopper. And that. Homemade vanilla. I think we'll make some homemade bleh. We've got our two pans. We've got our 2 cans of what is it? If you like this recipe for delicious what? I've done it again. And what else you'd like to see in the kitchen?